because it worked, but the sound wasn't good enough. So what I did is it evolved the whole design. And what I also thought is, because you can put microphones in different places. You can put it on the bra, you can put it in the tie, you can do it here on your shirt, or in a scarf, or you know, there are several places. But then one concealer doesn't work. You need some sort of general approach to every situation. And so I came up with 4 different holders that are, well, it does what it says. That one is for the bra, that one is for the tie, that one's for the shirt, and that's for the t-shirt. And you all have these, it all has its own purpose. But then it was still like 3D printed, and this looks great, but it didn't work because it was too, the surface was not smooth enough. And then I thought, well, there goes my idea. Just go back to the set and shoot, you know, because that's easy. Go to the set, do your booming, go home, and then you're finished. But the idea kept on boiling in my head, and then I thought, well, you know, that's real plastic with a mold, and then on the high pressure, put it into a machine, and then the shape of these things come out. So what I did, I think I have to go to China. First, you know, you have the make society, I make it myself, but then I have to go to China, produce it in China. But I was afraid that when I sent the idea, like the complete 3D design to China, that they would make it and just copy it and bring it on the market on their own. So I tried to do it a little bit sneaky, not telling what it was, and you know, and then they came up with a quote. It's like for a mold, it's like 25,000 euros for a mold. So I thought, oh, that's a bit much. So and I said that to them, and next day they gave me a quote that was like 40% less. So I thought, oh no, I don't want to go there. So then I ended up just in Holland with a very small producer that is very, the communication lines are very quickly. And then we came up, he is a die caster also, and we came up with this. We redesigned it, and this actually is the basis of what I do. It's like, what you do is you have the microphone, this is, in this case it's a Sanken COS 11, and you just create a nice smooth space around the microphone. Child can do the laundry. And then again, we developed 4 different models. So this is for the bra, you see here. This is, you put the microphone in it, and usually you have to, if you want to mic up someone that's wearing a bra, you should do it as a sound engineer. But with this one, you just give it to the talent, and you say, can you slide it over the center of your bra, and it will stay there all day. And if you have, for instance, you have someone that is doing if you have a host or something, you just put it with wardrobe, and they do it, and you don't have to fiddle around anymore with all the dirty hands. And so again, we ended up, well, you can choose. We ended up with 4 different models. So this one is for the bra. This one is for the tie. You see that it has a, well, I'll show it in a minute. But it has a flat background and the shape of the tie on the front. So you just run the microphone from the back through the nut of the tie, slide it, the holder over it, and then push it back. I will demonstrate it in a second. This is a t-shirt holder. I like that a lot because it's like very versatile. You can just put it with a sticky or double-sided tape. You can put it everywhere, in a scarf, on a shirt, also in a tie. And there's this one. This is the shirt holder. So it's for, you can put it here. So it's like the bra holder, but with the clip the other way around. So you can use it any way you like, but I had to make something. So you see, it's also in 5 different colors. And the reason I made it, I was watching a series, and they with a lot of suits involved, and they hit the microphone in the tie. And sometimes it was done very nice, and sound was okay. But sometimes it was also very well. It was the knot was very thick, or was ugly, didn't look good, and didn't sound good. So I thought, well, that's where we should make a sort of cage for the microphone. And the funny thing is that now I'm producing for 1.5, 2 years now. And with that series I started, they're using it now. So it's very nice that the whole circle is round, and that's something I'm really proud of. So, and this is, well, we have sets and all, you know. You can buy them separate, you can buy them, we started with models for Sanken COS 11, because that's a very popular microphone. A lot of people use them, and it's very useful also in film. Because of the shape of the microphone, it's like a little tube, so you can use it everywhere. And that one I launched last year, and now we're launching the HIDEAMIC series for DPA as well. So for the series, the 4060 to 4071. So you can use them with that. And well, that's about the idea. So maybe it's good that I show you how it works. Let's start with the DPA version. Well, I just show them both. Okay. No one's wearing a tie today. Sound engineers. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, you will get the drift. It's no problem. So this is over there. Oh, yeah. This is Sanken COS 11. I probably know, a lot of people know it. And this is the tie holder like that. And what you do, what is also written on the back of the product, so you always have a reminder of how it works. You run it from the back of the tie, and you just fold it back through the knot down like that. And then you put the holder, you slide it over the microphone, you twist a little bit, and then it's secured. And then you just put it back in the tie. And then you see it's going to work like that, if you tie it like that. And then you have this little gap here that gets the sound into the microphone. So, and again here, shirt holder. Well, you know what I'm, you know what I mean. It's like that, and then you have the clip again. And you can put it like here. Put it here. Put it up, and then you see it's like this. Oh yeah, I can open. Yeah. And the material, it's a fairly thick and hard plastic, but because it is hard, it's also very smooth. So every thing that touches the cage, it will fall off easily. Well, the next going to do with the Sanken. So this is the tie holder for the Sanken. And the thing is, because of the COS 11 is a very cylindrical microphone. It's like a tube, so you can enter it from the back, and it will stay on the rubber little rubber tool that's on the end. But with the COS 11, we had to make a different thing because with the DPA, and because the wire is very thin, and then the microphone is a little bit bigger. So you have to apply it from the front. So we made this little thing there. So what you do is do like this, and then you gently press it, and then again there's the microphone. And you just this is the bra holder. You can see again with the thing, with a clip here, and you just give it to the woman that should wear it, and she can do it herself. You never have to go there. So it's very well discreet. And the funny thing is, what we did is if you push it in gently like this, and you have the top of the microphone on the same level as the rim of the holder, then you have a flat frequency response. So the microphone, it doesn't matter if you have it out of the holder or in the holder. If you have it like this, then it sounds the same. But when you push it a little bit in the holder, you get a little bit of a high boost. So you can play around a little bit. If you put it under the clothing and it's sounding a little bit like this, and you think, well, I need some more high frequencies, you can just put it in a little bit, and then you can fiddle around a little bit with that. It's not like real, how do you call it, physics. It's not measured or something, but it works. You cannot see it probably, but to prevent frequencies inside of the holder from going everywhere, we made a little wave shape in the holder, so you have like this, because it's in the same color, you won't see it, but it is there, and that dampens all the unwanted frequencies a little bit. So this is what we do, and we also make this. It's the silly pad, call it, and sometimes when you have the holder in the tie, like this, and you want to tighten the tie a little bit, it still can move a little bit, the holder itself, and then you have very small but very sticky tape, or pads, like very small. You just tear it off like this, and it's transfer paper. So what you do is, did I hear someone yawn? You put it on the back, and then you do like this, and there is it. And then you push it. You put it back in the. Can you see it? Then you put it back in the tie. Yeah, and it will stick, and it's really sticky. Want to take it off? Come. Try to, come on, take it off. Try. Oh, it sticks. It's quite sticky for the surface you have. It's a good thing. I don't know if you know. There's a guy on the internet that makes he's also a sound mixer, and he makes these small films. And he actually did something what I didn't think of myself. He did it in his glasses. He had it in his glasses. So what he did is he put this one directly to the mic, and around the mic, but he did it to the mic, and then on the inside of his glasses. And on the side, he mounted it so it run back and stay there all day. I thought that was pretty. Well, it's nice that you make something and that someone else uses it in a way you didn't think of. So, well, this is about it. Now we're producing for the Sakon Cos 11 and DPA, and next year we're going to make for MKE2, Sennheiser MKE2, not the big ME2, but the smaller, more professional MKE2. And there's also another silicon mount that is it's going to be produced to put microphones directly to the body. So if you have like really tight shirts and you cannot put it anywhere, like sports people, or a very wide shirt in summer or something, and you want to attach the microphone directly to the body, you can use the silicone one, but it's going to be produced in I think a month or 2, 3. But if you go to HIDEAMIC Facebook on Facebook and like it, you will be the first to know when it's available.
Okay, thank you, Eric.
Is it within 20 minutes or not?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
If you have any questions, we will be at the VDB stand after the thing, and VDB is also the distributor of HIDEAMIC in France. So if you want to have them, go to your local shop or to VDB.
Okay. Alors, nous allons maintenant accueillir Paul. Et Paul, c'est plutôt des protections, toujours pour les micro-cravates, mais pas que. Et c'est plutôt des protections pour le vent et les problèmes voilà, qu'on peut avoir en extérieur avec les micro-cravates. Alors...
Paul, and I'm from Denmark. And I've been in the industry for a long time. Actually, I started in the early 90s. The school was too boring for me, so I went to play with the local television station. And then I meet a very, very interesting sound guy who taught me a lot. And that was kind of the thing. So I've been in the television industry. I have not done the film industry. The television is my background. And I like the television because you have to move very fast and you have to think of one solution in one spot and then just go with it. Sometimes you pick the right one and sometimes you don't, and then you hate yourself all day. But the thing is that to do it fast and so on, that's really what I really appreciate and like. I did the Survivor show for probably 10, 15 years ago, something like that, where I got a phone call from the post-production saying, "Paul, what the heck are you doing?" Because sometimes he could not open the sound. And then I realized, because when we were running out there in the field, we couldn't listen that carefully to what we were making. But actually, the sound from the two different wind protection I went for was very different. One of them was very, very closed, and one of them was very big and very open, sound-wise, but it came off very, very quickly. And then I certainly started thinking, well, I need to do something myself, and then I start figuring out how to get the right fur for it. And then it took me a year, something like that, to figure out how should the fur really be. And to think that you have one piece that could fit all mics, that's not impossible, because then you will lose a lot. And that's why I made 4 different sizes. So you have the small one, for instance, for the COS 11, and the bigger ones for the bigger microphone. You can also, if you have, of course, size matters. It really does. So this one can tolerate some wind, but the bigger one can, of course, tolerate even more. But when you are working on films, you don't like this because you cannot hide it. And then I came up with another thing that is made for lav to put underneath the shirt, and it's the invisible lav covers, and this is the original one. It's the one that has kind of a fabric inside that is very low noisy, and then you have an excellent tape. I think I really love it. And I like to test some up with the new stuff, with the first stuff, and then you can see what I think. And if you have any questions, please ask. This is the other one, but I like to play now with the fur ones, and there you have 3 different colors, 9 pieces of fur, and it's ready to go, and you can attach it underneath the shirt. I can go for the base one right now, and then I'll take the double-sided tape. I really like this tape because you have the hole inside. Then you can make a lot of different ways to mount it. Is that possible to see at the camera? So you put the mic here, and then you attach it with the fabric. And you put it like this. And then you have a nice little wind protection, and you can see the mic here. But you also have a very, very low noisy hair. So this one can actually take a lot of the rustling noise from the shirt. You peel the liner off. And for demonstrating how, you can see the mic here. It's sticking out. And then you can attach it directly to the skin. And it's hypoallergenic, so you won't have any trouble. And you can feel it, you can try to pull. Try to pull even more. Just give it a go. It won't come off that easily. It can hold there for approximately 8 hours. You just have to make sure that the skin is dry before you attach it. There's a lot of different ways that you can mount it with this tape. Now you're taking this one you can reuse, and of course the tape you'll just take off, and you have a nice and clean mic again. No gaffer and nothing else, you don't have to clean it. There's a lot of different ways that you can use these small pieces of fur. Another thing is that if you want to attach it directly to the skin, for instance myself with this shirt, the mic on again, attach the fabric, and you have the mic here. And then I would like to go directly to the skin, so I'll just put it right here. And then, well, you won't see it. If something on the shirt or something like that will hit the fabric, it will slow it down. But you can also take some small pieces and actually add where on your body, because this one can lift up the shirt a little bit. I'll show now. Now I attach it without the microphone, but I'll attach it where the shirt and the body is meeting each other. A lot of the noise is not coming from where the microphone is, but it's actually coming from where the shirt and the body is rubbing against each other. So by putting just a little piece here, I don't think you will be able to see it there, it will just lift up the shirt a little bit and it will take a lot of the rustling noise. You can also put one here, and then you are actually, you can feel the movement, but you cannot hear it because you lift up the shirt a little bit. That's a trick that I really love because it's just lifting up the clothes. If you have a jacket like Jean-Baptiste, is that right?
Yep.
Oh, I'm good in French. Well, if you kind of like have this shirt, and a lot of noise will come from this one going and rubbing against, then I'll just take the mic off. Then you will have, you can attach it with the fur if you are outside. If you are not outside, then you can attach it with the original one, the lap covers. I can do it right now with the lap covers. Or I'll just do another trick here. You can make a little loop with the microphone, and then you can peel the liner off, and then you have created a little sandwich with the tape. Are you able to see it? Okay, and then you can attach this here. And if you want the shirt to you can just place the little here, and then you have a shirt. But then you can take the small pieces of fur, and then you can lift the shirt up a little bit. Kind of like this. And then you don't put it directly on the shirt, directly on the microphone, but you put it in a little top of it here, or you put it at the bottom. So you actually have something that can slow down all the noise around the mic. You have lifting up the little shirt here, and then it will take a lot of the noise away. Also, if you got a very nice chest, as you do, a lot with hair, and we really hate that, the fur can actually do some magic tricks here. Because when fur meets this hair, and it blends together, so if we put the fur against the hair, it can take a lot of the rustling noise away again. So just put it at the back side of the shirt, or at the back side of the microphone, or kind of build things that the fur can blend in together with the hair, and it can take a lot of the rustling noise away. There's small tricks and things that you can do with this package. You can also have it in a bigger bunch if you like that, and then you can cut it in pieces yourself. But that's some small tricks about placing the microphones with the fur stuff. Do anyone have any questions?
Oui, il y a des questions pour ces accessoires. Attends.
Yeah.
Donne-moi le micro, s'il te plaît. Tiens, juste que tout le monde en profite. Tu peux le mettre en rôle? Voilà, merci. Attends, ça se synchronise.
1, 2, 1, 2.
C'est bon.
Merci. 1, 1, 1, 1. Non, j'entends pas, je m'entends pas. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Tu l'as pas en diffusion.
Otherwise, I can try to repeat it. Yeah.
Just a quick question about your stickies.
Yeah,
Do you
exactly.
sell them? Do you sell the stickies separately from the fur? And do you sell them, for instance, with the roller tapes or something like this?
The tapes come in a very big basket here, where you have 120 pieces in. So this one is the big basket for the tape without the other stuff, and then you can combine it with a piece of fur. The piece of fur comes in 6 different colors, in black, in white, in beige, in off-white, and so on. So you can actually play it, so it can kind of melt into all the kind of fabric that you're meeting out there. But it comes in a big basket here, and it's approximately 25 euros or something like that. Yeah.
I just have another question about the bumblebees. About your. I bought some myself for the DPI microphones, and I like them very much because they are very efficient.
Thanks.
But I have sometimes some problem just to put them on the microphone.
Yeah.
Because I'm afraid of pulling the threads under the bumblebee. So can you just show us the right way to set?
Yes.
Please, the fur on the microphone.
Yes, I can. The two legs here, it's actually not because they want to escape and walk, but it's for finding the hole, and you don't have to bind it together or something like that. It's just for finding the hole. And if I move my hand very slowly, you can see if you open like this, then you can find the hole. And we still have it here. Then the way I do it is I take my fingers and just take one of the legs and then shove the microphone in it. And the good thing about this is when it's on, it won't come off that easily. And that's why they are a little bit harder to mount on the mic, but it's more secured and won't come off that easily. But you don't have to make a knot or something like that underneath it. But I know it could be a little bit hard to find the way. But when it's first on, then you'll be happy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Merci, Paul, de nous avoir présenté ces accessoires. Et maintenant, Simon.
Yeah.
Donc Simon, lui, va nous présenter plutôt une façon de fixer et cacher les émetteurs. Donc on s'est intéressé au micro, maintenant on va s'intéresser aux émetteurs. Et Simon vient d'Angleterre.
I come a little bit unprepared, I'm sorry. So I'm just going to chuck this down here. So, hello everybody. Thank you for coming. I wasn't really sure I was going to do a presentation, but I guess you may know the product range that we have. It's mostly straps. The company kind of began when we noticed, well, I work as a boom operator, and quite often you're in tricky situations with actors who are wearing very tight dresses. And the main problem that I found when I was working as a boom operator on TV dramas and feature films is that you get lumps on costumes and you just need to find a better place to put a pack where there is not a lump of a transmitter or a visible strap line where you're putting the transmitter strap. So my partner and I, who works in costume, were coming up with our own things that we made at home ourselves, made from elastic. And she came across a fabric which was much lower profile, and we developed this slowly over time into a product which could really help improve the feasibility of putting straps on people in a very low profile manner, and also in a way that actors could be quite happy about wearing them, because quite often you go up to an actor with a big, heavy, thick strap that might make them sweat and hot over time. It doesn't go down very well, and they come back to you with a thing which is dripping with sweat. So what we wanted to do was, we never even thought the company would go anywhere, really. It's a 1.5 years old now, so it's still quite young, but we've developed a little range of products, beginning with the basic sort of waist straps, ankle straps, and thigh straps. And I guess I can just quickly sort of run through them. You've probably seen these before, so it won't be really much new stuff, I guess, at first, or I'll show, but this is basically the waist strap we have. One of these is a medium-sized waist, and really what we tried to do, which was maybe slightly different, is to integrate a pocket for the cable, so you put your transmitter inside. This is a big pouch strap, so basically it's got a slightly wider strap. So you pop it in there. It's a little bit of a stretch, but what it means is that the transmitter itself is firmly in place. So the pouch itself holds it in through little lines of stitching at the top here, and that can then go around the body. And the fabric itself, as you all probably know, it's kind of a fabric which applies to hook Velcro, and it stays on the body nice and tight. And actually, it's got a bit of stretch and movement, and people tend to be quite comfortable wearing this over long periods of time. And as it's quite thin, whilst it might absorb some sweat, the sweat will dry off over time as well. And we developed a little cable pocket here, which we've increased the size of recently over a bit of pressure. They were too small, and I totally accept that they were quite small. I'm a DPA user, so the cable's quite thin, but a lot of people use thicker cables, and so you can't get it in as easily when it's a thick cable. So we've increased it a little bit. You can probably see that's slightly bigger than the original size of our cable pocket. And the idea is you wrap it up, chuck it in there, and then I just hated as a boom op having to constantly tape down cable onto straps or onto the body or put it into a pocket, because you end up just getting sticky residue all over the cable, and then you have to always make sure you clean that off properly, otherwise you'll damage the cable over time and it will get a horrible kind of memory. So the cable pocket's really there to try to avoid using tape as much as possible. And really the only place you sort of put tape on a cable is maybe when you're enforcing it on the skin, or you're putting a bit of tape there, and then obviously the double-sided tape or whatever you're putting onto the microphone itself. But I just didn't think that you should have to stick down loops of cable onto people's bodies. And so that's what the cable pocket does. demonstrate it very quickly. It's easier to do if it's on the body, actually. So you kind of loop it up in your fingers like this, just a couple of times. And then if you see the sort of cable pocket there, you just push it down. And then that's nicely sort of there. So I could put that on my back. So I could come up to an actor with it all kind of tied in there already, go up to them, and then it's all ready to go. And I might even have this prepped with a mount of some kind. So it's just faster and slightly more professional, I suppose, to have it all sort of ready so that you can get the actual work of radio micing someone done quite quickly. So that's the waist strap. And then we do ankle straps as well, 3 different colours, beige, black and brown. We've got one of the really sort of, I suppose, unique things on the product is that the thigh strap comes with a sort of a tacky gripper that you guys may have seen. It's a polyurethane gripper. It's 100% hypoallergenic. And the idea is that on thighs, quite often, the strap can slip down a leg. So this is here specifically on this strap only to help a strap from slip. So it has slightly less stretch as a result of there being quite a lot of gripper on it. But it's very useful for like, I can really feel that's holding on quite a lot more. As it has slightly less grip, it's really clinging onto my leg a lot better. And we also, on this particular product, use a very, very low profile Velcro so that the overlap is even less, particularly for a tight dress. You really don't want anything to be, you really don't want to see the overlap of the Velcro. So it's got a nice sort of smooth profile. And I think that really helps because quite often the Velcro is the bit that might just be pressed up against a part of the dress that might come in shot. Whereas you normally put the transmitter sort of on the inner leg. So the thigh was a big sort of starter for us when we figured out how to make that well. And since then, we sort of branched out into some other little products. Doing a chest strap. You might have seen this as well. Pretty simple little product. Similar fabric, similar concept with gripper on the inside of a chest strap. What you can do is you can put a cable through one of the loops here and then put the cable mic itself into one of the pockets of the chest strap, and then that really helps for people who've got, say, quite hairy chests or quite sweaty during a long day, running around maybe. And it's just a way of getting a mic on someone and it not falling off if it was otherwise stuck to their skin, whereas sweat and moisture over the day might mean that a sticky tape will just come off, which is a bit of a nightmare, especially if you're in the middle of a take or just before a take and you hear that the mic's somewhere down here. It's just so we developed this as it really is a way to try and avoid as much as possible those kind of scenarios. I was working on a film called Black Sea, and it was a load of Russian sailors in a submarine, and they're all sweaty as hell. All the crew was sweaty as hell. And the only way we could get mics to stay on them was by using this. And, you know, so it's kind of handy to have. We don't use it all the time because it's quite often, you don't have that scenario that often, but it's quite nice to have a solution to that kind of problem. And as a boom op and now a sound recordist, radio mics are just like so bloody important that you get good quality sound from a radio mic, because quite often 2 cameras, you haven't quite got the booms where you need them to be, and you're reliant so heavily on radio mic delivering good quality audio. So we're just trying to figure out new ways of using, of helping people get better sound from radio mics particularly. But just recently we've been sort of looking into new things, like this is Ursa Tape. And I've been using this quite a lot on my latest drama because we've had some pretty tricky costumes. And what I found with Ursa Tape is that basically it comes in 3 different colors. This is the black one. And we found that if you want to have tape and you want to stick something onto someone, but the only tape available on the market seems to be like white tape. And there wasn't really any like non-shiny black tape, which was soft. And so we're like, well, our fabric's soft and black. Let's put some sticky tape on the back of it. So that's what we did. And this is essentially this very similar fabric to what our straps are made out of, but with hypoallergenic sticky tape on the back. So what you can do is I found this really useful for like I'll just take the mic out of here. Is if somebody had a very tricky, say, a black jacket, and you were trying to hide a mic underneath the jacket. What you can do is with this tape, you just pretty much hide it on the outside of the jacket. It hides it so well, it being non-shiny and just like, let's just cut it there. So what we did with a lady with a black jacket, which was quite difficult, is we just kind of, let's just imagine this is my jacket. We just sort of stuck it right on the edge of the jacket, and that was pretty much in shot, but you just don't see it, especially on a wider shot. It just helps blend the microphone out of shot. So we find it really useful for just having a kind of a non-shiny black tape. And you can use it like that against skin as well, if you fancy. That's an alternative way of using it, just getting a wedge of it, cutting it into whatever shape you like, and sticking it, say, there on the skin, and then maybe reinforcing it like that. That works as well. It's pretty sticky. You can use it maybe once or twice. Yeah. So I've found this particularly useful, especially the black one. Yeah. Oh, and we've done some other little things as well, like we make these little pouches, because I noticed there wasn't really any low-profile pouch available for transmitters. That you can buy pouches, but they could be leather pouches, or they could be quite thick neoprene pouches. But quite often I don't like taking like an expensive transmitter and just saying, okay, can you put that in your pocket? Because they might have something in their pocket that might scratch it or cause interference with the actual transmitter itself. So I sort of thought, well, we'll develop a pouch that just is like a low-profile cover, and at the same time, there's some other little features with it as well. So I'll just put this new A10 audio into this. This is a large pouch, and it just fits quite neatly. There are 4 different sizes of pouch to go from everything from like a tiny SSM Electro to this one of the larger transmitters. And from here, there's got these 2 little belt loop thingies on it in different directions. So if I was to take it on a belt, I could easily go up to an actor, pardon me, and just sort of put it on a belt like that and hide it just like really in the low profile fashion there, or turn it the other way around and hide it like that. So it's kind of handy just to have an alternative position for a belt and a transmitter. Do I have time to sort of talk a little bit about, because while these guys have been showing their products for radio mics, there's also other little things that we do sometimes, and our foamies range is quite handy, I think, for rigging radio microphones as well. And it's basically quite similar to the Hush Lab, if you've ever seen that, but we thought the Hush Labs were a bit big, and they didn't have a flat side in which you could use to put sticky tape. So you'd have a Hush Lab, but you would only be able to reinforce it with tape from the cable beneath the Hush Lab itself, so the Hush Lab was sort of flopping about. So we developed a slightly different sort of size with flat sides. And actually, you can apply sticky tape directly to one side of this, put a DPA inside. I'll just do that here. We've got to press it through. And then you can then apply tape to the back of that, and that can go on skin, or in a similar way to the fur that was being demonstrated earlier, you can apply that to a part of a body or a part of a costume, and that can actually provide a bit of buffer and spacing, quiet spacing as well, so you could stick those around an area of a radio mic which is noisy. But also they can be used in ties, and like what I do most of the time is I kind of cut things up and fiddle around with things. So if you cut this into a small little slither, that on its own in a tie is quite a sort of a low profile mount, and that squeezes down as well, so you don't have a kind of a fixed solid shape. And so that can be kind of a handy little thing. Cut them up, put a little mic in there, put it in a tie, then tighten up the tie, and that can provide just enough air around the mic to kind of still have a quality sound and not have too much of a lump, because otherwise costume department will be on your back and you might end up having to lose it altogether. Yeah. I'm sorry, I probably rushed through this, but is there anything you guys would like to ask about the range or anything in particular?
Il y a des questions à propos de ces accessoires? Non? Bon, sachez que Juste
Yeah, sure, yeah, we'll be around.
Vous pouvez retrouver tout ça sur le stand de VDB. Je pense qu'ils seront tous les trois là si vous avez envie de voir les choses en détail et leur poser des questions. Je pense qu'ils seront ravis de vous répondre.
Ouais, merci.
Merci à eux d'être venus jusqu'à nous pour présenter tout ça. Merci beaucoup.
What I like about this one is that you can, this is the only pouch I know. Yeah, exactly. In horizontal.
Bravo au modérateur aussi.
Donc nous vous remercions de vous avoir suivis et d'avoir regardé ces 3 conférences. Nous espérons que vous avez appris des choses ou découvert quelques accessoires. N'hésitez pas à passer, il reste encore quelques heures pour venir sur le microsalon et poser vos questions. Eric, Simon et Poul seront là encore jusqu'à 18h. Voilà, encore merci. Donc vous pouvez retrouver la vidéo même après le live en replay sur le site ou sur les sites des fabricants. Merci à vous.